Today, the City of Sioux Falls presented their Convention Center review and market analysis for the brand new Riverline District.
The breakdown of this report is something the council has been anticipating since seeing the concept of the Riverline District when it was announced back in February.
Our current convention center has served us well for 30 years. What does the next 30 years need to look like?
This new convention center would help draw more events and money to the city. This coming after the report revealed that the current Sioux Falls Convention Center lost almost $3 million from lost events in 2023.
Events is really what will pay debt service, what will provide streets, roads, pools, aquatics, public safety, all the things we need to keep Sioux Falls moving ahead.
Mayor Tinhaken urging city council members to realize the bigger vision behind developing the Riverline District.
We need leaders, community members, philanthropists who are willing to dream big with us.
However, members of the council expressed their thoughts. Kurt Soul asking hot-button questions.
Walkability is a huge concern of mine. How do you build a 200,000 square feet convention center right next to the largest homeless population in the state?
The full report of the analysis will be available within the upcoming weeks as the council looks to assess the city budget, which will decide what happens with the future of the Riverline District.
In that budget is an $8.1 million appropriation to purchase the Riverline District land in that part of the city. Without the land, none of this happens.